Signs of the night's tragedy were scattered everywhere. Crushed plastic bottles lined the narrow-sloped path, barely 3 or 4 meters across. A metal handrail lay bent, completely ripped from the ground by the force of the crushing throng of people. And, further down the walkway, an unused body bag. This thin passageway at a Jewish pilgrimage site in Mount Meron, northern Israel, was the scene of a horrific crush just after midnight on Thursday. Crowds of ultra-Orthodox men and children leaving a religious gathering, the first of its kind since nearly all coronavirus restrictions were lifted, slipped and trampled each other in the panic. Footage from the night showed men frantically pulling down metal sheets lining the alleyway to escape. Despite their efforts, by Friday afternoon, medics had reported that at least 45 people, including children, had been killed and 150 others injured. It was one of the country's worst peacetime disasters. Levi Steinmetz said he was there with his brother to organize music for the ceremony, called Lag Biama, which includes all-night prayer, bonfires and mystical songs and dance at the tomb of the 2nd century sage Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. On a stage at the center of the event, Steinmetz, a paramedic, said that after midnight, he noticed the crowds had grown so big that there was nowhere to move, but he did not realize there was a crisis until he saw a young boy climb a fence from the passageway below. "I told him it was very dangerous what he's doing," said Steinmetz. "He told me he has nothing to lose because below, people are crushing each other." Soon, bodies were being hauled up to the stage. One person, then another, then another. In the chaos, police blocked Steinmetz from heading down, he said, but he jumped the fence. "We started to do CPR. One after the other, they had no pulse, there was nothing we could do, and they kept bringing more. People lost their yarmulkes, skullcaps, their glasses, their shoes, it looked like a scene from the Holocaust," he said. "It is shocking to think about the last moments of those who died when people were stepping on them." Nir Glicksberg, 27, was volunteering in the canteen, serving food to visitors, when he heard screams nearby and ran out. "I recognized that if in a few minutes they did not do something, people would just die," he said. "I screamed to people for help, but because of the music and the noise, they didn't hear me. We started pulling wounded people into the kitchen and treating them. We had no rescue equipment, so we couldn't give them first aid. The police still did not realize that there were many dead. I grabbed a policeman and showed him the bodies, then he realized that something serious was happening." Permission had been given for 10,000 people to attend, but crowds were estimated to be closer to 100,000. Hundreds of buses brought people to the area. Some had set up tents in the forests surrounding the tomb.